Good day to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. And we are back to the topic of contemporary art. And with us in the studio is Agnieszka Kolek, the curator of Ujazdowski Castle, the Center of Contemporary Art for Contemporary Art in Warsaw.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. And it's the first time anyone from your institution is actually in our show, even though it is a very important institution of contemporary art in Poland as a public museum, but also I would say the center of lots of things, what's happening, what's going on. You are in Ujazdowski Castle in Warsaw, which is a fabulous, wonderful place. Could you tell us a little bit more about this place and the institution altogether?
It's a historical building and it's located in the center of Warsaw, which is amazing. An amazing location in the heart, close to Łazienki, the park, with another beautiful building, historical building. What is important is that it's not only a beating heart of contemporary art for 30 years, but it's also a center of culture, looking at different aspects, looking at discussions, collecting contemporary art from Polish artists, major Polish artists, but also from abroad, giving access to the public to these works and to the contemporary thinking around art and culture. There's also a cinema, there are a series of discussions, and also lots of educational programs for young people and also children. This building is very special because over the centuries it's been changing outer looks, but also its function. There was a period that it was a military hospital, it was also a school, and there was a period when it was destroyed completely. So by visiting the center, you could also immerse yourself in history of Poland, its geopolitics, and also the history of the society. 444 years ago, there was the first theater play being played in Warsaw, and that was during the wedding. And it was a play by Kochanowski. So I think it's really, really worth to come and visit. On the side of knowledge and beauty, but also it's a good exercise because if you walk around, you can actually get some kilometers going because you can walk along the canal, up and down, and looking
Because
from different perspectives.
On the hill, exactly.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful view as well if you go through the whole park.
Yeah.
So this is also a very good place for anyone who wants to do some sightseeing in Warsaw, even not very interested in contemporary art.
Yes.
So that's, I would say, is a difference of the center than from all other museums.
I would say that actually for me, when I started working at the center back in January this year, is that it combines the past, the present, and it looks towards the future, which I think is very special and unique on the global scale, because there's quite a lot of centers for contemporary art around the world, but usually these are the buildings that were commissioned to architects, built, and they completely new. And here we have a place that brings together the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah, when we look at the facade of this building, it looks more like a palace or a castle, which from back in the history in ages, in times, and not as something which is connected to modern art. And even so, from outside, it's very classical. And from inside, then we have the exhibitions and a lot of other things connected to modern art.
So, for example, at the moment, we have a major show that is called Uncensored, and it's a survey of artistic activity during the 80s under the communism, when the artists decided to work independently of the communist regime, and they were showing their works in independent spaces, whether they were private flats, or they might have been even public spaces like part of the Citadel Wall in Warsaw. Obviously, all of it was illegal. People were arrested and they were oppressed because of that. So it wasn't something that you could just do and there were no consequences, obviously. And what I find fascinating with this exhibition, this is not only a historical survey, but I think it's a good example to artists around the world that are oppressed and cannot show their works and express themselves, that they can see there is always a way. So what is unique in this exhibition is, for example, this idea that the artists came up about suitcase exhibitions, where the artists were creating smaller versions of the bigger works, and they were carried around in a suitcase, and they could have been shown in a private flat or in a public space, but you needed to be in the know to know that this is happening, that at this day, at this time, because obviously at that time there was no internet, no mobile phones. At the moment, let's say if you are in a country like Iran or any other country that people are oppressed, they cannot express themselves freely, then it's also word of mouth. You wouldn't use internet to announce that you're doing illegal exhibition of works that are discussing difficult issues, right? So this exhibition is really unique and it's special. And also what is fascinating about this exhibition is that it shows that at the time that you cannot express yourself freely, your spirituality is really important. You really need to tend to your independent thinking and your free spirit, not to get suppressed.
So for this time, we're wrapping up, and of course, we finish with the invitation to all of you to visit Ujazdowski Castle, the Center for Contemporary Art, for, of course, to see art and the exhibition of Uncensored, but also just to visit this wonderful place, see the view, have a walk through the park, because it's all worth visiting in Warsaw. And again, thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.